No one works in Dallas. Nobody has a job. They're all here hanging out with us. We are very, very grateful. It does mean a lot. Seriously, thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. No, seriously, I have to say this. We have the best fans. We really do. We appreciate it. We are grateful. All right, Tim Tebow.
Y'all lied.
Stop it. Tim Tebow still hanging out with us. And we are going to pick some NFL games. Colts quarterbacks, a past and present meetup. Denver Broncos, Indianapolis Colts. Who wins the game?
Well, both of these guys are outstanding quarterbacks. Both of them are unbelievable players, and they're both very hot right now. I think the Broncos win because it's hard to go against Peyton Manning, especially being at home. Andrew Luck, he absolutely balled last week. The throw he made, stepping up on the run, getting hit in his legs, and threw a dime piece to the corner end zone. He's playing really well, but I think the Denver Broncos defense is underrated. With the weapons on offense, I'm going to go with the Broncos.
All right.
Well, I am so proud of you.
Yeah.
You know, because clearly you have listened to me
Oh,
when I've
okay.
tried to tell you, everybody talking about Peyton Manning and he's a father time and he's not what he used to be. Hey, a matter of fact, do y'all believe this? The weather conditions in Denver this weekend are going to be better than it is going to be at any other place for this weekend's playoff games. Whether it be Seattle, whether it be Green Bay, whether it be Foxborough. And the fact that it's not going to be below freezing temperatures combined with the fact that Peyton Manning, dare I say, is a bit irritated because some fools out in America have been questioning his greatness. I think he's going to bowl out, as you would say. The Thomases, Demarius and Julius will be there. Wes Welker, no concussion issues. Emmanuel Sanders, a stud, okay? And C.J. Anderson, who I spoke to earlier this week, said he's going to be ready. The question is, Akeem Talib, DeMarcus Ware, T.J. Ward, they were acquired for a reason. John Elway went out and spent all that money. We're going to see if these dudes are worth it because that defense will need to show up against Andrew Luck because he will keep coming. With Hilton, with Wayne, with Nix, okay? With Fleener, he will keep coming. But Indianapolis doesn't have a running game. And because they don't have a running game, regardless of how great their passing attack is, I do not believe a one-dimensional offense is going to be enough to beat Peyton Manning, DeMarcus Ware, Akeem Talib, and those boys collectively.
And I think a key in this game is going to be Laurent Landry, strong safety for Indianapolis, because he is a player that is very talented. He's a very good player, but he's also very aggressive. So look in the running game for him to be creeping up in the box because he loves filling the holes in the box and coming up for a play action over the top to a Demarius Thomas on a skinny post or to a Julius Thomas on a seam, because that's something that Peyton loves to do, and he is very aggressive.
He loves to hit, too. Remember when he was in New York Jets? He's a hit man.
We've had him on the show.
Big man. He's a big man. Yes, he is. He's a big man. Muscles coming out his earlobes for crying out loud. He loves to hit, but the problem is guys like Peyton Manning and Aaron Rodgers and people like that, you can't be overly aggressive because they will use it against you from a penalty perspective. He's going to get flagged a couple of times on Sunday.
Now, before I make my pick, allow me to point out, there was this Broncos team, it was like 3 years ago. It was actually a little better than this team, and it was quarterbacked by this guy whose name escapes me. I can't remember. Who was that guy? Oh, yeah, it was Tim Tebow.
Might be here.
Thank you. But back to business.
Every time you bring that up, I still haven't forgiven Ike Taylor the Steelers. I still haven't forgiven him.
Hey, was that a day? Woo.
One of the worst days of my life.
Okay. So, look, I appreciate everything you guys are saying about Andrew Luck. But Andrew was a little lucky at home last weekend because he got to play against an Andy Dalton who was without an A.J. Green or a Jermaine Gresham that you faced in the national championship game for the Oklahoma Sooners. So, again, I'm not going to give Andrew Luck that much credit for that game. He's going to have to take it up about 3 more levels to win this game. And I remind you, he was there for the opening Sunday, the opening weekend this year. And they ended up losing. They were behind 24-7 at halftime, and I think it's going to be more like that kind of game again this time. I've got Denver winning this game 31-20 because Denver needed to get healthy off that bye week. And again, I think that Julius Thomas will be pretty good in this game, pretty healthy, and all of a sudden Peyton will be healthy and his receiving core will be healthy. Look out.
But you also can't blame Andrew Luck for something that Andy Dalton didn't have, you know.
Amen.
But it was pretty easy. It was just pretty easy when you don't have any threat from the other offense. They were pathetic on offense.
That's not his fault.
Okay, it's not
He
his
showed
fault,
up and
but
did his job.
It's his gain. He benefited from it.
No question,
Okay.
he benefited
Well,
from it.
This is
but
another
he did his
place for
job.
another time.
All right, we leave it there. Panthers, Seahawks, both teams are playing really, really well. Panthers have won 4 straight. Seahawks have won 6 straight. So who wins that one?
I mean, I'm a big Russell Wilson fan and a
Okay.
big fan of this defense. I think Pete Carroll is someone that he is an innovator. He is changing the way things are done, the way meetings are done, the way practices are done, and I love that because so much about the NFL is about the way it's always been done. But you see someone in Pete Carroll he's changing things. He's bringing in certain coaches, yoga coaches, spiritual coaches, stuff that mentor kids and really just change the way that it's been done in the NFL. And I think his players have bought into that, and because of that, they play harder for him.
Yeah, I believe that.
This is what drives me crazy
He's about
about
to.
you.
Uh-oh, he's about
This is what
to.
drives me crazy about you, Tim Tebow.
Uh-oh.
You're such a nice guy. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know, look, man. Look. I understand all of that about Pete Carroll and the yoga classes. I didn't know that, but good. I appreciate the information. Okay. All right. Maybe Kerry can go there and join that
I
class.
do.
You can just talk about yoga
I
before
do
the
love
show.
me some yoga.
Here's the
Yes.
deal. Does it really matter? All Cam Newton has is Cam Newton and Kelvin Benjamin, and maybe, just maybe, his tight end Olsen. We can't sneeze at him because we know he can play. You know, they got a decent running game, but they took away his 4 primary targets in the offseason. They went in a different direction. Steve Smith, gone. Ted Ginn Jr., gone. Hickson, gone. Brandon LaFell, gone. You can't take weapons like that away from a Cam Newton and go up against Seattle.
You can't say, does it really matter? Yes, it really matters because motivation and inspiration is the best part of this game that we love called football. And you have to say, coaches that provide that to players, they're doing an advantage for their team. They're giving their team an advantage because it's a fact. Some people go out and play harder than others. Some people are more inspired. Why do you think sometimes when tragedy hits a player, they go out and they play harder, they play better? Because it's not all the same. You don't go out there and play the same every week. Like, I'm not the same player when I would play every single week. Some weeks you play better than others. Why? You don't always know why. But most of the time, it's because you're more focused, you're more inspired, you're more motivated. And a great coach does that for you.
Well, excuse me.
Yes.
I stand corrected.
You are excused.
I did not mean to imply that motivation doesn't matter. What I'm saying is that it doesn't eclipse the clear, flagrant deficiencies of the Carolina Panthers in this particular matchup. I didn't say that last week about Carolina. You know why? Because Arizona could have had all the motivation in the world. But some dude named Ryan Lindley was quarterbacking for them. They didn't have a snowball's chance, and you know what? That's all I'm saying. I apologize if I gave a different impression, Mr. Tebow. My friend, Mr. Tebow,
You got
checkmate.
uncomfortable for
I
a
got
moment.
it.
You made
I
a little
got it.
bit.
No one it was all right.
You know what, Stephen A. Smith? Your friend Tim Tebow is becoming a very opinionated, nice guy.
I like that. I like that.
100%.
We appreciate
I'm going
that.
off on you, even though you don't want to admit it.
Yeah.
My friend.
So I will point out to you that Cam Newton has played this defense 3 straight years in the regular season, and he has lost 16-12, 12-7, and 13-9 this past regular season. He's averaged 9 points per game in 3 regular season games against a defense that has gotten to be the hottest defense again in pro football over the last 6 games, in which this defense in 5 out of the 6 allowed 7 points or fewer. Are you kidding me? So I fear that as much as I like Cam and as much as we have talked about, he's gone through a little bit of a transformation post-wreck.
Yeah.
But I'm afraid he's going to be in the wrong place at the wrong time against the wrong defense. So I'll give him 10 points, but I'm going to give Seattle 27 points.
Seattle 27-13.
All right. Everybody's going with Seattle. Seems like a foregone conclusion, but is everybody going with the Patriots? Patriots, Ravens, they meet up. Ravens have obviously beat them twice in the postseason at home. Who do you think will get that game?
Well, the Ravens have had an edge lately, but Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, especially with a good Patriots defense with 2 very good corners and a Bill Belichick coach defense that has had time to scheme up the last 2 weeks, I have to go with the Patriots.
Okay.
Ditto. Next.
Ditto.
Wow, that was easy. Dolly that then. All right, so then the game. Why are we here, folks? Who are we here for then, boys?
Yeah.
That's what we're here, right? So. No pressure. No pressure. No pressure for our friend Tim Tebow. But when them boys go to Green Bay, who wins that game?
I think so much is based on Aaron Rodgers' athletic ability in this game, on how he is able to move, because why he is so dynamic is because he has such a strong arm and he knows the defense so well and he's so accurate. So so many teams will try to drop 8 against him, right, and have very tight windows. But why he's so good is because then he can take his athleticism and buy time. And you mentioned it earlier. He has so many touchdowns outside of the pocket because he buys time, because people say, okay, we're going to drop 8 against him, rush 3, try to contain him. He gets outside, he finds windows, and he makes teams pay. If he can't do that in this game, then that is an element that is a huge win for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
But I think their doctors are probably pretty good, and he might get a Toradol shot and a few things before this game. And I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers and the Packers.
Give it up. Give it up. You know the money. You know.
That little boy's happy too. You just made that little kid happy. Boy.
Hold on.
Boy.
Hold on.
Oh. Security.
Hold it.
Security.
Hold it.
We need security right now.
Hold on.
Oh, you're tearing up right now. Oh, okay.
I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud. I'm so proud. I have nothing to say. Tim Tebow
Ditto.
broke it down.
Ditto.
Ditto.
Yeah,
I'm so proud. What?
I think it's going to be a really good game. I think the Cowboys are a really good football team, and they can control the
don't
game.
backtrack.
I'm not
Stick with it.
backtracking.
All right.
And they're also, if they're able to run the ball, that'll be one of the biggest things, is keeping it away from Aaron Rodgers. But I have to say, I think that Randall Cobb and Jordy Nelson are two of the most underrated players in the National Football League. And when they get man-to-man coverage, Jordy Nelson always comes up with a play. Randall Cobb always comes up with a play. And, those guys just don't get enough credit. And when they do get open to man-to-man coverage, Aaron Rodgers is going to put the ball on him.
And don't you worry about being booed. It's a sign. It's a badge of honor.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Don't you worry about it. That's right. It's the first time I ever heard you got booed. It feels good, doesn't it?
It feels good. Stephen A.
I have to ask, why is Tim Tebow sitting next to me? I don't want him sitting next to me.
The producers.
Why is he sitting over there next to Aaron?
With another Aaron jersey. Okay.
Stephen Aaron Rodgers over there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a bad man.
Tim Tebow.
And so am I.
Once upon a time back in Denver, Colorado, you experienced these things called destiny and mojo and meant to be-ness. Something is going on with a team that I have been a lifelong fan of, the Dallas Cowboys. And you can, thank you. You can accuse me of picking with my heart over my head. You're picking with your head, and I respect that. But something deep down in my soul is telling me something is going on with these Dallas Cowboys.
He's trying to swindle you, Tim.
And I really do think that they believe, and I think that Romo has really improved, and I think he's one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL. And that's not.
How about the best quarterback?
I'm not taking anything away from the Cowboys or Tony Romo or DeMarco Murray or all these great players, but they're facing one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL right now, two very underrated receivers, and a defense that I think is underrated as well. And they're playing at home, a place where they're very good. If this was at Jerry's World, as you like to call it, it might be different. But they're playing at Lambeau, and it's really tough to win there.
Going into last week's playoff game, it's okay. He can take it. He can take it. Remember, going into last week's playoff game at Jerry World, my Cowboys were all of 4-4 at home because they haven't played very well at home. They are 8-0 on the road because they love the road. They feel like they own the road. They will feel very confident about playing on the unfrozen tundra of Lambeau Field because it's going to be a high noon kickoff with temperatures up in the 20s, and you would tell me that's pretty good football weather, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I don't think weather will be a huge factor. It might be a little bit, but not much in this game. And when you have a torn calf playing in even below freezing weather, it's got to be a little angry with you, don't you think? I'm just not sure he's going to be getting outside the pocket at all. And again, stationary target. I'm not saying he'll be a sitting duck, but the Cowboy pass rush has been coming on the last 2 or 3 weeks. I think they will get better shots at him on his bad calf than they would have gotten on a healthy Aaron Rodgers.
There's no question about that.
Yeah.
All I gotta say is, turn out the lights.
Thank you.
The party's over.
Hey, the party's over.
They say that all good things must
come to an end. Yes.
Okay.
It's over. Don't think this is Cows. Oh, they're flawless. They're away from Jerry World. They love this. Really? 19 degree. I don't know anybody that loves 19-degree weather. I don't know anybody that loves it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tim Tebow, thank you for being
Very
here.
good.